Have you ever wondered what you would ask for if you were given a blank check by God? It's the kind of offer that most of us dream about: limitless power, fame, or wealth. But what if I told you that the wisest choice might not be what you expect? Solomon, the king of Israel, faced that very choice when God appeared to him in a dream. Instead of asking for riches or glory, he asked for something far more powerful: wisdom. And the answer he received changed everything, not just for him, but for the entire nation. But here's the twist: it wasn't just his wisdom that was granted. God gave him so much more than he asked for. Stick around to discover how a simple request for wisdom led to blessings Solomon never imagined, and how you can apply this same principle to unlock success in your own life. Then, let's read the chapter together. Solomon made an alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and married his daughter. He brought her to the city of David until he finished building his palace and the temple of the Lord, and the wall around Jerusalem. The people, however, were still sacrificing at the high places, because a temple had not yet been built for the name of the Lord. Solomon showed his love for the Lord by walking according to the instructions given him by his father David, except that he offered sacrifices and burned incense on the high places. The king went to Gibeon to offer sacrifices, for that was the most important high place, and Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on that altar. At Gibeon the Lord appeared to Solomon during the night in a dream, and God said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." Solomon answered, "You have shown great kindness to your servant, my father David, because he was faithful to you and righteous and upright in heart. You have continued this great kindness to him and have given him a son to sit on his throne this very day. Now, Lord my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David. But I am only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties. Your servant is here among the people you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to count or number. So give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern this great people of yours?" The Lord was pleased that Solomon had asked for this. So God said to him, "Since you have asked for this and not for long life or wealth for yourself, nor have asked for the death of your enemies but for discernment in administering justice, I will do what you have asked. I will give you a wise and discerning heart, so that there will never have been anyone like you, nor will there ever be. Moreover, I will give you what you have not asked for, both wealth and honor, so that in your lifetime you will have no equal among kings. And if you walk in obedience to me and keep my decrees and commands as David your father did, I will give you a long life." Then Solomon awoke, and he realized it had been a dream. He returned to Jerusalem, stood before the ark of the Lord's covenant, and sacrificed burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. Then he gave a feast for all his court. Now 2 prostitutes came to the king and stood before him. One of them said, "Pardon me, my lord. This woman and I live in the same house, and I had a baby while she was there with me. The 3rd day after my child was born, this woman also had a baby. We were alone. There was no one in the house but the 2 of us. During the night this woman's son died because she lay on him. So she got up in the middle of the night and took my son from my side while your servant was asleep. She put him by her breast and put her dead son by my breast. The next morning, I got up to nurse my son, and he was dead. But when I looked at him closely in the morning light, I saw that it wasn't the son I had born." The other woman said, "No. The living one is my son, the dead one is yours." But the first one insisted, "No. The dead one is yours, the living one is mine." And so they argued before the king. The king said, "This one says, 'My son is alive and your son is dead,' while that one says, 'No. Your son is dead and mine is alive.'" Then the king said, "Bring me a sword." So they brought a sword for the king. He then gave an order, "Cut the living child in 2 and give half to one and half to the other." The woman whose son was alive was deeply moved out of love for her son and said to the king, "Please, my lord, give her the living baby. Don't kill him." But the other said, neither I nor you shall have him. Cut him in two." Then the king gave his ruling, "Give the living baby to the first woman. Do not kill him, she is his mother." When all Israel heard the verdict the king had given, they held the king in awe, because they saw that he had wisdom from God to administer justice. Let's say a quick prayer to thank the Lord for his mercy. God, thank you so much for the wisdom you've shown us through this study. We're grateful for the insight and understanding you've given us today. Help us to not just know this knowledge, but to live it out in our everyday lives. Give us the strength to apply your wisdom in all we do, whether in our work, our relationships, or our decisions. Guide us, Lord, and help us grow into the people you've called us to be. We trust you to show us the way. Amen. So, what can we take away from Solomon's extraordinary request? It's simple. When you seek wisdom with a humble heart, the rewards are far greater than you could imagine. Solomon didn't ask for wealth, fame, or power. He asked for wisdom to lead. And because of that, not only was he given wisdom, but also riches, honor, and a legacy that would last for generations. What would your life look like if you focused on seeking wisdom above all else? What if you made that your daily goal, learning, growing, and becoming more discerning with every decision? The truth is, wisdom opens doors, solves problems, and brings about success in ways that money and power never could. Now, think about this. Are you ready to apply this principle in your own life? What steps will you take today to seek the wisdom that can transform your future? If you want to continue unlocking the keys to success, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned. The journey to wisdom is just beginning, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. And, as always, don't forget to check the last video and learn more about the scriptures.